never as a family referred to them as my stepchildren or stepsister, stepbrother. We don't do that in this family. They're our children, and that's how it has been to this day. So about a year after we were married, I gave birth to a little girl, and now there were 4. And it would be about 7 years before I had my next child, who was also a daughter, and another 5 before I had our youngest, my son. So my husband is a Jamaican brown man, and so the children are all different complexions. You have some that are fairer, some of darker complexion. And as I've said in a video before, like, I've never experienced racism living in Jamaica, raising the kids in Jamaica. I did see classism, which that's a very sad thing, but there seemed to be like a chasm between like the haves and have-nots.
In this video, this Jamaican woman shares with us how she was able to raise her blended family in Jamaica. Jamaica is made up of people from all walks of life, different races, different culture, and just as the motto says, out of many, one people. So you can perceive how it will be like to raise a blended family in Jamaica. Let us watch the video together and we'll discuss in the end.
Welcome. It's great to have you guys back. And today I'm going to share a bit about raising a blended family in Jamaica. I had been running my farm for about 8 years when I got married at the age of 27. And my husband had been married before, and he had 3 amazing kids from his previous marriage. And when we got married, about 1 month after we got married, his 3 kids, who were 14, 11, and 3 years old at the time, moved in with us. So of course I was scared and I was really happy and excited all at the same time, you know, because instant motherhood, and it was like, wow. So I must say that my husband's kids were beautiful, they were intelligent, they were well-mannered, they were respectful. And so, as you can imagine, it was really very easy for me to just fall in love with these kids. So we have never as a family referred to them as my stepchildren or stepsister, stepbrother. We don't do that in this family. They're our children, and that's how it has been to this day. So about a year after we were married, I gave birth to a little girl, and now there were 4. And it would be about 7 years before I had my next child, who was also a daughter, and another 5 before I had our youngest, my son. So my husband is a Jamaican brown man, and so the children are all different complexions. You have some that are fairer, some of darker complexion. And as I've said in a video before, like, I've never experienced racism living in Jamaica, raising the kids in Jamaica. I did see classism, which that's a very sad thing, but there seemed to be like a chasm between like the haves and have-nots. And I wasn't raised like that. Like my grandmother, my mother before me, they would open their homes and entertain people from every different walk of life. And so to me, that's normal. That's how it should be, you know? So our kids, all 6 of them went to school in Jamaica. One of them, the first 5 at least, went right through to the end of high school. One even went to UWI and then went away to do his, further his education. And then the youngest one left Jamaica right after he did GSAT, and he passed for JC, which would have been the same school that his father and his grandfather before him went to. But we brought him to Canada instead, so that didn't happen. But because we lived in the bush, excuse me, in the hills of St. Anne, and the best schools were like 2 hours away, all the kids had to board, and for the most part though, they boarded with their grandmother, and they came home on weekends. One of them did a stint at Holy Childhood boarding school, and I had a taste of that myself. As I've told you before, I was boarding quite young, and then I also boarded for a little while at Immaculate when I went there to high school. So I'd had a taste of it too. So I kind of begged for her, because I was like, yeah, bring her home. So Anyway, in the evening time on the farm, there wasn't a lot for these kids to do, like, at night. So they had to find a way to amuse themselves. And I remember that as a teenager growing up, when I used to go to school in Kingston and come home on the weekends, and I had the same challenge, And in my day, we didn't have cell phone or even phone. We didn't have internet. So what we had was one channel on JBC TV. JBC TV started broadcasting in August, I think it was, of 1963, which was 1 year after Jamaica gained independence. And I used to sit in a little room in the house and watch the news with my father. I remember that as a child. And it was black and white back in the day. And I remember, I don't know why, but I remember Dennis Hall vividly, who used to read the news at the time. So anyway, when our kids now, they range in age from in their 40s to coming up on 19. So we saw all kinds of ways of them trying to amuse themselves, going from Sega and Pac-Man to dial-up internet with, taking all day to download mostly 2 songs. And they all love music. All the kids love music, and we have some avid readers in the bunch. And of course, then there was Nintendo, which the littlest one used to call Intendo, which I thought was so cute. And they would watch like VHS movies, and they would watch DVD. I remember one of them was hooked on Kickers. Used to watch Kickers all day if he could. And then of course there was later on the PlayStation and the Xbox, YouTube, you name it. But I remember for me, like, being a business person and trying to get things done without a phone wasn't easy. And I remember when we got a cell phone that was big like this. It was a box and heavy as ever. And I used to have to put it in my car and drive up the road past Higgintown and up to Golden Spring and sit on the hilltop in my car and make my business calls. And the kids used to take pictures of me. I have some pictures somewhere of me sitting in the car doing my business on this, they used to call it a fridge, but that was more than a fridge, man. That was like a big chest freezer. It was so big. So anyway, I don't know. The only thing about the PlayStation, the Xbox, all those things is that they require current. And if you come from Jamaica, you live there or spend any amount of time there, you know that there's something that's inevitable, and that's a power cut. So when the power cut happens, if you don't have a generator, all of that stuff means nothing, right? That time now you have to light your candle, draw near to each other in the living room, and have some quality family time. And I know those power cuts, it's no fun sitting in the dark with a candle, but we had some good jokes running, and we told some great stories. And I know the power cuts came a little too often for the kids, but I have some fond memories, And on the weekends too, we would take the kids on road trips. We would go have beach days. We would have a lot of fun and adventures together. And I have a lot of fun memories. I don't have any regrets at all, to be honest with you. And we all love Jamaica. And in fact, we didn't all leave. Some of us are still there. And those of us who aren't, we visit whenever we can. I plan and hope to go back real soon.
This white Jamaican got married at the age of 27 to a brown-skinned Jamaican man who already had 3 amazing children from his previous marriage, even though she did not explain as to whether the other woman was deceased or they had a divorce. But that is not the point of this video. Let's move straight into the point of this video. So right after the marriage, these 3 kids were moved into their new home 1 month after they got married. Now she said that the kids were 14 years, 9 years, and then 3 years. She also stated that she had mixed feelings when these kids were brought into their home because she was scared. And I think it is very natural and normal for every woman who has gotten married in her early stages of her marriage to have kids being brought into their new home. So it was pretty normal because of this. She was scared, and she also stated that she was happy because she instantaneously became a mother whilst she had not given birth. And I think this was also a nice feeling that she had. She said that the three kids were very intelligent, they were very respectful and well mannered. And because of this, she fell in love with these three kids. And this is so natural of everyone. If you have kids who are intelligent, they are well mannered, and they are very respectful, this will help you to establish a unique bond with them as though they were even your own kids. So she fell in love with these kids in her marriage. She also gave birth 1 year later on to her daughter, and after 7 years, she gave birth again. And then the last one also came after 5 years. So together in their home, they are now a family of 8, a husband and a wife with 6 kids. And this is so nice of them. She stated that her husband was brown skinned Jamaican. So all of her kids have different complexions because she is white and her husband is a brown skinned Jamaican. So this gave them kids who are fair in complexion. Some other kids are also dark in complexion. So the family was having a variety of colors, you could say, in the family because the woman was white, husband was a brown skinned person. So they gave birth to dark skinned kids and also fair skinned kids. So this family was a nice one for them to live together in Jamaica. She stated that on weekends they go on road trips in order for them to have some fun. And I believe this was able to bring bond between them as a family. So this is how she was able to raise her kids in Jamaica, and this helped to foster unity among them even when they had different skin colors and all. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down there. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.